Hello, I welcome you all to today's class. So today we'll be looking at exponential function, and make sure you share, you like, you subscribe to this channel. So when we talk about exponential function, we are talking about a case where the unknown is the index or power. That is where you have something like 3 raised to the power of x is equal to 9. So here you can see that the power is unknown. Okay, the power is unknown. Now, the power, the unknown, can as well be the base. For example, when you have something like x raised to the power of 2 is equal to 16. So here you can see the unknown is the base. Okay, here the unknown is the power, but in the second one the unknown is the base. So the unknown can be the power or the base. So this type of question, or this type of equation, we call it exponential equations. And exponential equations can only be solved, I repeat again, exponential equations can only be solved if the base are the same thing. You can only solve it if and only if the base are the same thing. So let's take example on that. So let's take example. For example, let's take some example. Example, we have example 1. So let's look at a case where we have the first question. The first question we have there, which is what? Which is x raised to the power of, sorry, that is what? That is 3 raised to the power of x. We'll have 3 raised to the power of x is equal to 9. Now look at this. How do we solve this? Now, like I said, this is exponential equation, and exponential equations can only be solved if the base are the same thing. So whenever you see an exponential equation, the first thing that should come to your mind is, how can I make the base to be the same? Now let's look at the two side of the equation. So the two side, the base must be the same. So we have 3 raised to the power of x. What can we do so that the base here, that is the base on this right hand side, will be the same thing as the base on the left hand side? Now you agree with me that this means that 3 raised to the power of x is equals to, now for us to have the same base here, we look at, this is 9. What will give us 9? That is 3 raised to the power of what? 2. Can you see their base are the same thing now? So now we have our solution. Now what you need to do now is, since the base are the same thing, you equate the powers. Okay? Since the base are now the same thing, you equate the powers. And this will give us x is equals to what? X is equals to 2. And this is our answer. So our answer is what? X is equals to what? Is equals to 2. Now let's take another example. We have example 2. We have x raised to the power of, okay, we have 2 raised to the power of x. Let's look at this example. We have 2 raised to the power of x is equals to 16. Now look at this. So the first, like I said, the first question that will come to our mind whenever we see an exponential equation is, how or what are we going to do so that the base in both sides can be what? Can be the same. So this is 2 raised to the power of x is equals to 16. What can we do so that the base here will be equals to the base here, and the base here is 2? So what can we do to 16 so that it will have the same base as the left hand side? And that will give us, so I will have 2 raised to the power of x is equals to, what can 2 raise to give us 16? That means that would be 2 raised to the power of what? 4. So you can see the base here on the left hand side is the same as the base on the right hand side. So you equate the powers, okay? You equate the powers, and that will give us x is equals to what? 4. This is our final answer. Now let's take example 3. The third example. The third example we have is, let's take example where the base is the unknown, okay? Where the base is unknown. Now you can see, let's look at this. We have x raised to the power of 2 is equal to 9. Now look at this. So whenever you have something like this, now that the unknown is the base, now what you should do is this: make sure, look for what to do so that the power in both sides will be the same. So when the unknown is the base, you look for what to do so that the powers will be what? The powers will be the same in both sides. But when the unknown is the power, you look for what to do so that the base will be the same in both sides. Let me repeat let me repeat it again. Whenever you have an exponential equation and the unknown is the power, like we have in example 1 and 2, the unknown is the power. What you need to do is you look for what to do so that their base will be what? Will be the same thing. But whenever the unknown is the base, you look for what to do so that their power will be what? Will be the same thing. Okay? Like example 3 now. You can see x raised to the power of 2 is equals to 9. So here now, the base is what? Is the unknown. So what we have to do is we have to make sure that the power in both sides, the power in both sides are what? Are the same. So if you look at that, let's solve that. That will give us x raised to the power of 2 is equal to, so what can we do so that the power in this right hand side will be the same with the power in the left hand side? That will give us 3 raised to the power of 2. So can you see? So here now, the power, the base, the power now in the left hand side is the same as the power in the right hand side. So what we need to do is what? We equate the base. Okay, that will give us our answer. So here our answer is what? X is equals to what? 3. So that is the final answer. Let's take one more example under that. So we have example 4. Example 4. Now let's take this example. We have x raised to the power of, we have x raised to the power of 1 over 3 is equal to 3. X raised to the power of 1 over 3 is equal to what? Is equal to 3. So the first thing we need to do here, now you can see the base, the power is in what? Is in root. The power is in root. So the first thing we need to do here is we look for what to do so that we can cancel that root. Okay, so if we say multiply the power in both sides, multiply the power in the left hand side and in the right hand side by 3, that will cancel the root. So let's look at that first. So we have x raised to the power of 1 over 3 times 3 is equals to 3 raised to the power of what? 3. So you can see whatever we do to this, to the left hand side, we did the same in the right hand side. So you can see I multiply their powers by what? By 3. So that will give us x raised to the power of 1 over 3 times 3 is equals to 3 raised to the power of course, you know, the power of 3 here is 1. So 3 times that power, the 1 times the 3 is give us what? Will give us 3. So I don't need to keep repeating that. I don't need to keep, I don't need to write 3 raised to the power of 1 times 3, because here the power, we know the power of 3 here is what? Is 1. So 1 times 3 is what? 3. So let's continue with our solving. So we have x raised to, now 1 over 3 times 3, that cancel the what? That cancel the root. So we have our x is equals to what? Is equals to, now 3 raised to the power of 3 is what? Is 27, right? That will give us 27. So you can see this is our final answer. Our x is equal to what? Is equal to 27. So this brings us to the end of exponential uh, functions. And in the next video, we'll be taking more example under exponential functions. Make sure you share this video with your friends. Thank you.